Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. I'm Barbara. This is a general, timeless reading. This is entertainment purpose only. If it does not resonate, please do not try to make it fit. Watch out for scammers in the comment section. I do not reach out personally for private reads. I do ask for donations. Once in a while, almost desperately. But I do not reach out through the comment section. So that is my disclaimer that it is not me. I thank you for liking. I thank you for subscribing. And I most definitely thank you for your contribution or donation. If you like the content or the video that I'm putting out, your donations are always welcome. There has been a small change because I'm not quite sure with transferring of money and all of that stuff, and everybody seems to have Cash App. So since the last video that I did, I went ahead and got Cash App, and I put that information in the description box for those who want to make a contribution. You can send it through Cash App. We haven't used it yet. An older generation where all of the young people know how to use these things with a quickness, and I'm still kind of learning, but that's okay. It was 31 degrees where I'm sitting this morning. And isn't it a wonderful day? Okay. Now, I haven't transferred everything. I've gotten enough of the move done so that I can do a read, and I'm very, very grateful for all of the supporters that I've had during this last 2 months. I will be doing the standard read with my favorite, the Wild Unknown Tarot. I will be using the Learning Tarot cards as a confirmation deck. The 3 cards is all I ever do. Anybody who's seen me before knows I only do the 3 cards. And then I'll be using Citadel. This is my favorite set. I did spend some time yesterday saging and setting out some different cards and some different oracles. So I'll be doing my next read with different cards. We're kind of like getting a balance here since the move and all of that. Now, with the Wild Unknown Tarot, here we go. Was saged and shuffled prior to turning the camera on. Okay, we need 3 cards. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. For today's timeless energy message. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. For today's timeless energy message. And there's our first. We got the 5 of Swords. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. I ran over last time. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. Holy Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. Holy Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. Holy Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. Oops. The 10 of Swords in reverse. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. 3 cards, Spirit. What's a message for the timeless energy? So 3 cards, Spirit. Holy Spirit, guide me. There's a message for the timeless energy. 3 cards, Spirit. Holy Spirit. Yep, there we go. And I got the Father of Cups, and that also is in reverse. I have to admit, it was a little harder to get back into. Or everything is so, like, kind of half unpacked. I'll get a little bit done at a time. And you'll have to bear with me during the next couple of months. Every now and again, when I do a video, you'll notice that things got rearranged a little bit. So we're kind of like setting things up and moving them around as we go, as we have the ability. Okay. Now, first of all, I like to use the chakras as like a clarifier. When I first started, I really counted on the chakras as clarifiers. I found that it came out really very nicely that way. Now, the Five of Swords was in my last read. I pulled it again this time, only this time it's in the upright. Ruled by Venus and Aquarius, the chakra for this card is the heart. The Ten of Swords is in reverse, okay? Ruled by the Sun and Gemini, the Ten of Swords is the root chakra. And in reverse here, the Father of Cups, ruled by Neptune and Pisces. And this card here is the third eye. We'll give you a general idea of the chakras because sometimes during the read I forget to bring that up. So let's start with the first Five of Swords. Okay. Now, in the upright, the energy of the Five of Swords was, I like what stuck up to me, like in the upright, is conquest. To be honest, it could be conquest, or you could flip side that, and you could go in the direction of defeat. But when I looked at the situation, look at the heart chakra, okay, and with my heart chakra, we are looking at, like, we're feeling positive, ready to expand. You're feeling curious. You're consciously awake. I like the positive aspect of this card, of hopefully being a conquest of some sort. Now, technically, your Five of Swords, ruled by Venus and Aquarius, could be deception or underhanded behavior. In some cases, it could be just walking away. And I did like the conquest theory of that. And, you know, the thing about it is, it's in the upright, okay? And the thing about it is, it does give the energy of standing up for yourself. So it's not necessarily defeat that we're talking about. It's not actually conquest either, depending on the combination of what you get in the three cards. It's not really defeat either. But what I see is that it depicts maybe the battle card of standing up for yourself. If there's a conflict going on in your environment, okay, was the tarot is timeless, but the energy only lasts for 4-7 days or whatever after you absorb a read. I mean, some people absorb more readers than others, but this is rather than like you're admitting defeat, you're throwing in the towel, you're walking away. But in this case, as a situation of Five of Swords, is you've stood up for yourself. You've made your point. Maybe you made your point and walked away. Maybe you made your point and walked away from a fight you really didn't want to deal with. Maybe you opted for another choice. It depends on, personally, on whatever applies to you, what this is in the upright. Okay? In some cases, a person in the Five of Swords could be like, maybe appearing to be unemotional in their dealings. So they're dealing with it. Okay? There are personality types in the zodiac that are just unemotional. There are personalities in the zodiac that are very emotional. But in this situation, it's not your personality type. It is basically, you're not dealing with this. You're walking away. You're done. Okay? You stood up for yourself. This is the energy of this card. You stood up for yourself. They're ruled by Venus. Now, your conquest, and let's to be honest with you, this is the truth of the real world. might have had to do with who you are as a person. Because with the Venus card ruling the Five of Swords and the Aquarius ruling the Five of Swords, we're dealing with an energy of stubbornness. We're dealing with the energy of a caring individual. And maybe if you're dealing with somebody who's passionate and caring, they might also be a very good-looking person. The Venus rules attraction. Maybe somebody that you see yourself attracted to is winning the conflict. Because usually what? A conflict is two people. You're not getting in the middle of it. You know, you're going to side with somebody. Okay, you're going to side with the person that you find the greatest attraction to or the greatest loyalty to. The Venus card, to be honest, and this is just the way the real world is. You're honest and your attraction and you're siding with. This is the aspect of what you value the most with the Venus card. But it is also the aspect of beauty and love. And if it's a conflict with people, you might actually, the conflict walking away from the fight or deciding or standing up for yourself or standing up for the group that you're dealing with. It might have to be with the attraction, that this is something that you value very much, or it is a person that you value very much, or it is a person that you're very much attracted to, maybe not even somebody that you even know, but just based on appearance. There are people that do that. Okay, I don't know. You can't possibly know everybody really, really close and up front. But you know what? Whatever the decision-making process was to end the conflict, to walk away, to stand up for, either you're standing up for yourself, you're standing up for your group, you're standing up for your belief, you're standing up for something, you're walking away from the conflict, you're stubborn, you're dealing with stubborn energy, but you're also dealing and sometimes with the reluctant to, you know, you're not really willing to expose your personal self. I would say that maybe your conflict has to do with a situation where you're not putting everything out there, okay? You're not putting everything out there. You're only dealing with the immediate situation. But your conflict with the Venus, the aspect of part of your life you value most. There are some people that don't even know themselves very well. They don't really understand what they do value the most. And unfortunately, in today's time, there are some people that are just strictly living in survival mode. And I don't know if you understand that from where you're looking from, but survival mode would be what you value most, would basically what you need to get right through the day without having a lot left over for the next day. Okay? So, what you value most. But this is standing up for yourself. It could be showing strength and in your personal relationships. It could be representing fights, disputes, arguments, or, you know, maybe not necessarily conflict, but deadlines with government agencies, employers, an establishment that are a little higher than just you and the neighbor or you and your best friend. Okay, so let's not keep the little box too small. Okay. So conflicts or fighting, standing up for yourself. It could be you submitted the paperwork and they sent you a letter and said we need more. Okay, standing up for yourself would be simply the energy of getting that documentation that they're saying that they still need and making sure they get it before that deadline. That could be it. Very simple. Doesn't have to be World War III. It could be. We don't know who we're talking to right now. You could be a member of a military family. My prayers are with you. I was a member of a military family. I'm not going to date myself, but you know what? You go back to Vietnam and Korea, and that's probably how old I am. So we do give our prayers to the military family. But this doesn't have to be a war. This could be late paperwork and standing up for your rights with the Social Security office. Okay. Enough on that. Now let's see what the picture is. We're looking for the message of the day, and we don't want to dwell too much on the first card, because I love the Five of Swords. But the Ten of Swords is the final sword. And it's in reverse. Okay. The Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords, it comes in a reading. It's the last blow, the last straw, the last sword. You've had it. You're done. Okay? You're not playing this game anymore. This is the energy. But with it in reverse, okay, we're trying to move forward here. This is definitely, you know what, this is not going to stop me. I'm definitely moving forward irregardless. I'm letting go of all of the little wounds, the conflict, the towel. It's in the garbage. Okay, we're throwing that towel in. We're walking away. Could be the energy of walking away, but it's standing up for yourself first. But in this case, it is moving forward. Now, in reverse, okay, now, in the upright, the Ten of Swords is the final straw. So the energy of the Ten of Swords doesn't really change. But in reverse, it is walking away. It is trying, like I said, to move forward from something. Okay? So you can just kind of picture that you've already thrown in the towel. Now, not everything works out the way we think they're going to work out. And if you're looking outside of the box, that we're not just dealing with your best friend, your lover, the person that you live with, your children that live from a distance, or your personal conflicts with friends. We could be dealing on a higher level with the government. We could deal with the news. We could deal with the news of the war. We could deal with having people affected by the weather. We could be dealing with a lot of things. So, unfortunately, not everything works out the way we would like it to work out. Okay? We do experience breakups. We do experience failures. There is some pain connected to things that occur that we've got no control over. And in reverse, the Ten of Swords is saying to release the pain, to walk away. I know that many people stress on walking away from the past memories and to live in today. Some find it easier than others. The thing about it is the past memories are lessons that we should not just walk away and completely forget about. We're going to find judgmental about the memories. You need to walk away from that kind of attitude as well, because you're not going to learn the lesson if you're going to try to be judgmental. But this is walking away from the pain of the conflict, okay? So whatever this is, standing up for yourself, walking away from the pain, which is whatever didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. Okay. Now the Father of Cups, we're talking reverse, and that is the third eye chakra. I love the third eye chakra. You know why? Because it's not hard to figure out what that means, does it? I have a very bad memory, but you know what? The third eye is definitely your intuitive gut instinct. It is not only your intuitive gut instinct. My favorite way of putting it, it is that you trust your intuitive gut instinct. Now you have to know yourself pretty well as an individual to be able to do that. And that is what I see when I see the third eye. The Father of Cups is ruled by Neptune and Pisces, and these are both sensitive energies. But you know what? The Neptune is sticking out as long-term generational impact from your choices, your decisions. We are talking about a little more than getting up off the couch and making a cup of tea and giving the cat some food. We're talking about long-term decisions and choices that have an impact for generations. And we're talking about healing this pain. Whatever this conflict was, you've stood up for yourself. Whatever this conflict was, you're healing this pain. Okay, you're not walking away from everything. Why would you walk away from the things that you actually enjoy? Why would you walk away from the people that actually give you enjoyment? What we're dealing with is we don't know how to go back into time and fix the things that have happened. And we're not supposed to live in the past anyways. There's a situation maybe where you don't know how to pick up the phone. A situation where the person that you're thinking of and the person that you love the most is so far away, sitting in a foreign country, that you cannot contact them. You're walking away from the pain. Emotionally, in your heart, in your head, and you're stepping forward to get through the day. And to get what you need done during that day, personally, in your own space, so that you can function. Now, the King of Cups is in reverse, and that is a manipulative situation. And let me go through this really, really close, because the thing about it is, in reverse, the King of Cups can be a manipulative person. We're not assuming that it's somebody that you're dealing with that is manipulative. If you know yourself very well, when I say the word manipulative in a person, you could be the manipulative person. Okay? So if you're not seeing yourself in that light, and maybe other people do, maybe you should take a look at and get to know yourself a little better. But this energy of the Father in reverse, the Father of Cups in reverse, it's double dealing energy, okay? In some cases, it could just be injustice. Your feelings of how something just isn't fair, no matter what situation you're currently in. From a housekeeper's point of view, I have to wash the dishes, and I just fed 5 people, and I have to wash the dishes. It's just not fair. That's what I'm talking about. With 300 troops, and there was a bomb, and somebody that you dearly loved was lost in that engagement. Okay? You're dealing with that. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. The loss. The ruin. In some cases, you could be dealing with a person that has no virtue. Crafty person has no virtue. Well, what do you think you're dealing with when you go into an email and you find a scam? Which I did this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I went in there and I said, confirm payment? Confirm payment? Are you serious? That amount that I'm looking at that you're trying to get me to confirm is more than my monthly stipend. Okay? The scandalous scams, the con artists, the people that are trying to steal from you, that is somebody without virtue. Somebody that does not care, somebody who's unfeeling, somebody who doesn't have a heart, and does not concern themselves with how they are destroying you in order to gain something that they want. And they're doing it not only without any concern, but it's against the law. Okay? There are some injustices that are not against the law. And to be quite frankly, when you're talking about the services, many people get the services. Some people get housing. Many people get food stamps. The thing about it is there might come a day when you've got yourself a little bit of a job. And you know what? We need to cut back the hours and the amount that you earn when you finally get a job so that you can continue to get your food stamps. Maybe the food stamp office didn't think twice about sending you and your family that letter telling you you don't qualify for your housing anymore. You're going to let that control your life? Okay. Stand up for yourself. Have a little bit of integrity. This card is somebody that doesn't have integrity. This card is somebody that doesn't have any empathy. But you're standing up for yourself. This card is saying injustice, okay? So the bottom line is you're feeling that's not fair. And it doesn't matter if you're washing the dishes, if you got a letter from the welfare, or if you've just recently lost somebody over there in the military conflicts that are going on. It just doesn't matter. Because you know what? Life isn't fair. You get up and you get through the day. Okay? In this case, with this in reverse, you could be dealing with somebody who's addicted. Or somebody who's got an alcohol problem. Or it could be somebody that actually just doesn't drink that often, but happens to do it today or tomorrow, and is within your personal space, and it's irritating you, or creating a problem. It could also be bad advice. Somebody who's scheming or trying to come up off of you or your energy, they're not going to give you good advice anyways. But the energy of this is somebody who has no virtue. A person who has no virtue, or a situation who is not empathetic to your needs. That only look out for themselves. It does not have to be a person you're dealing with, okay? I don't want you to take this reading and start attacking somebody that's in your family and putting them down for their personal habits, or what they need, or what makes them happy, or whatever like that. Don't go there. Because like I said, we could be talking about an entity or something that is connected to, like an agency, an employment agency, a welfare agency. It could be the manager at the supermarket who caught your child shoplifting and wants to put him in the custody. Okay? I was seriously, okay? Seriously. So don't be attacking people based on that. Like, if this does resonate with you. Okay. Because Neptune and Pisces is extremely sensitive energy. And you can create the picture in your house, or in your head. Oh, I said house. Whatever this energy is, it's going on in your house. I'll put money on it. But you can create this in your imagination. I was going to say head. Whatever this is, you could create this in your imagination. Just by sitting all by yourself and letting your imagination run without even knowing all the facts. It's very sensitive. You're in a fantasy world with Neptune, okay? You're in a fantasy world with Pisces. So you could be creating all of this in your head, and this is a person or an energy that has no virtue. Even your imagination in some cases might not have virtue. Okay, you're worried about something. You're getting an ulcer over it, okay? The energy of, okay, you do not expect another person to have empathy for a situation that you have, especially if it comes down to money. That is when we are required to a certain extent to find the answers on our own. When somebody has no virtue and no empathy and they just robbed you or took you for, a lot more than somebody else would have done the same thing without charging you, and it put you in a bad situation, okay? You know what? We all have free will. We all have choices. And to tell you the truth, if you got took, it was because you let somebody take you. And in some cases, like, I overpaid somebody because they really needed the help very badly. I couldn't do it all the time. The thing about it is, before the fact, they were very, very friendly, and after the fact, they were not very friendly at all. They just simply wanted the payment for whatever I needed to help with. And the thing about it is, there are some people without virtue. There are some people that are very manipulative, and this is presenting a warning of who can you trust? That is what that says. After all of what I just said. And I could have just saved 20 minutes by just saying, who can you trust? But that's where it led us. Okay. I went over last time. So let's see a little verify. We saged these. I'm sorry, the learning cards. Already, so that I really went over last time. Okay. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. I need a clarifier for this 5 of Swords in the upright. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. What's the clarifier for the 5 of Swords? Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. Oops. Oh. The Hermit in the upright. Well, that just kind of fell out kind of in a funny way. I almost dropped the cards. Soul searching, spiritual enlightenment, self-reflection, introspection, contemplating, inner guidance, and solitude. Standing up for yourself. That's what I got out of that, didn't you? I mean, you might resonate with a few of the other things I did mention when I brought that card up, but I saw standing up for yourself. And we're talking about soul searching. We're talking about introspection and reflecting on, okay? Now, inner guidance is that's kind of like, you can take it or leave it. It depends on your own personal situation, but you know what? If you're standing up for yourself, what do? Well, you got a little bit of self-reflection involved with having to stand up for yourself, because first you have to figure out what the problem is. You're not going to stand up for yourself if you don't know what the problem is. You're not going to stand up for yourself if you don't know how you feel about something. Because you know what? To be honest with you, there's 20 people in the room. You might feel one way. 19 people might feel the other. You might be totally the minority. Okay, which would give you a reason to stand up for yourself. But you know what? First you have to sit down and figure out why you feel the way you do. And that would require some kind of introspection. Well, the Hermit card is also being set aside off to yourself, okay? I'm a Hermit. I'm a Virgo. That is actually one of my things. I get more done that way. To be honest with you, if I'm on the phone with 10 or 20 other people, passing the day with little gossip, I don't get anything done. Not even the dishes. Okay? So, like, being alone or spending time introspecting, contemplating, preparing yourself when you get ready for your job, and trying to sit down with your shopping list and make sure you don't forget anything. Inner self-reflection. Followed by, or like reinforcing the fact that you stood up for yourself, no matter what the situation is. We are talking to a lot of people now. So the situation that you have is personal, and the reading, you can apply it. And if it doesn't resonate, please do not make it yourself. Make it your own. Do not make it your own. And don't forget, while I'm telling you this, to press subscribe, to press like, and don't forget I've got Cash App now. Okay, clarifying the Ten of Swords in reverse, we got the Devil. Okay, in reverse. No, the Devil's not in reverse. The Devil's in the upright. Okay. We are talking about, like, mental health. Okay. If you're soul searching and you're in enlightenment, if you're introspective, you're hermitizing, like, and you're standing up for yourself, and you have to become a hermit, or like pull yourself separate from the situation and be, okay, that is in your head. But we're talking about like your ego. We're talking about like your mental health, whether you're dependent. Okay, I'm not asking you to comment whether you are dependent. Some of us live through an entire lifetime with codependency and don't even really truly understand what the definition of codependency is actually. We think that we're perfectly fine because we function and we do our own little thing. But you know what? There are a lot of people that have dependency on other people that could not actually do what they're able to do without the dependency on another person. And this is the Devil. You have dependency on someone else. It might not be bondage, because bondage would mean that you can't pick up and leave. It might be bondage. It might be a situation that you can't not extract yourself from. But this could be addiction. This could be abuse. Maybe you're dependent on somebody who's abusive, or a situation that is not right. It is literally abusive. Take only what resonates. We got the Devil. We got the Devil over the Ten of Swords. And what did we say about the Ten of Swords? Do you remember? Do you remember what we said about the Ten of Swords? You've hit the bottom. Rock bottom. Okay? The Ten of Swords in reverse. You've learned from your past hardships. So we had standing up for ourselves. We've learned from our past hardships. Those hardships that we've learned from might be the addiction. So it might not be that you're dealing with an addict. It might be that I am talking to an addict who has been there and who is no longer in addiction. Okay. The hardships you've learned from your lessons. Okay. You've learned from the materialism and how that impacts the people around you. You've learned what it's like to be dependent on other people because you've had to live in a situation where you're dependent on other people. You've learned from situations where you've lived with someone who has been abusive. to you. This doesn't have to be physical abuse. This can be emotional abuse. First-hand experience, and I contribute to the women's shelter. Okay? So these are the things that you've learned from. This is the devil telling me that these are the things, the learning lessons that you have probably had in your lifetime. And that is the clarifying cards for the Ten of Swords. You stood up for yourself. You've done the soul searching, the introspection. You've hermited, you separated yourself from whatever the situation is. You've learned a lesson from whatever the situation was, probably one of these down here. Okay, we need one more. I do love these learning cards. You know, the thing about it is the definitions aren't exactly what the Rider-Waite book says. But you know what? It does add a little bit of like enlightenment. Kind of like the chakras. Now, remember the Father of Cups is the third eye? That's your intuitive ability. Remember that the card is two cards. Neptune and Pisces, that's very sensitive. Very sensitive. Long-term generational impact. You've learned your lessons. You've learned your lessons. Let me see. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. For one clarifier, for the Father of Cups, Spirit guide me. 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 One. Yes. We need one. Spirit guide me. Angel Michael, Spirit guide me. Archangel Michael, Spirit guide me. Teamwork. In reverse. Okay. Very sensitive cards. Long-term generational impact. Wasting time. A lack of ambition. Making a paltry effort or being disappointed about something. Causes the generational. Now this is sensitive in your imagination, okay? So you'll be sitting around like in your head, like I do that a lot. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. You're free will. You're allowed to do what you want. Or to sit around all week long and make all kinds of to-do lists and never actually get any of it done because I don't get off the couch. Okay? Wasting your time. Okay? You have a goal. Why are you wasting your time? If you're going to get that goal done and taken care of, you can't count on somebody else. You've got to get off that couch. But in this case here, you've learned your lessons from these things. You've learned your lessons. Okay, you stood up for yourself. This is the message that we're dealing with. You stood up yourself. Okay? You've learned your lesson from any one of these things on the devil's list. And now, with the Father of Cups in reverse, you're dealing with a shady situation, a crafty person who has no virtue, or a crafty office of the government. It could be the government. It could be a crafty person that works in the company where you totally, completely rely on your job, who has no empathy and no virtue. Okay. You're wasting time. There's a lack of ambition here. You're dealing with a crafty person. You're dealing with somebody who has a temperament. You're dealing with an individual or an energy that could bring ruin to you. Ruin to you. Okay? This is from bad advice. This is from an individual who is only looking after themselves. Okay? Now, it does mention in reverse that this card could be a drug addict. Okay? Or an alcoholic. And it does say here that you learned your lessons about addiction. So I could be talking right now to an addict that's been clean and sober for 15 or 20 years. And I'll tell you what, from being an addict clean and sober for 15 or 20 years, if you have somebody who is in addiction and is only looking out for themselves, which is basically the way they are, because they need their fix. Okay, that's your crafty person. But a clean and sober addict who's got a little bit of experience underneath their belt, not to mention age, wisdom, and other kinds of experience, they will see that person for what they are straight out. There's no way. It's going to be the person that doesn't have any experience with addiction that won't understand or won't see that person for who they are. But you could be dealing, though, with an alcoholic or a drug addict. To be fair and honest, I have to tell you this because it's part of the understanding of what you're looking at. And I don't know what resonates with you. I only know what resonates with me. And I'm not trying to make this personal. I'm just saying that you're wasting time. Either you have a lack of ambition or your boss saw that you've got a lack of ambition, and your boss is the crafty person who says, you know what, I can find five people that will work 10 times harder for you and save money and, just by like letting you go. Okay? You're dealing with a situation here, a crafty person with no empathy. You're dealing with a welfare office who's been told by the government that they need to cut back on how many people are on the receiving end. And you're on the top of that list. And you've got no way to defend yourself. There's absolutely no way in that situation that you can afford to waste time. You need to get that application process done. You need to take care of it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Or you need to look at the fact that you might lose those benefits that you most dearly need because you've got 3 children to feed, and figure out how you're going to replace those resources. This is wasting time. You're dealing with a shady person. You've stood up for yourself. You've learned your lesson. And now you cannot be wasting time. Now, Neptune in Pisces is a very sensitive energy, and I'm going to go over that one more time because, to be honest with you, some of us, when we are hurt, we tend to curl up in a ball with our feelings, our sensitive feelings. And, you're dealing with somebody who is not a people person or somebody who's not trustworthy. You can't afford to crawl up into a ball to lick your wounds. You need to find some way to push yourself out of that. And, we all need, as a situation, the relationship that's affecting you on an emotional level, that you cannot allow this to cloud your view. Okay? This King of Cups normally, it talks about being an advisor or being compassionate. But this Cups, Father of Cups, it's in reverse. So it's not a situation where you're feeling like you can give advice. Maybe you're learning the lesson you can give advice about on later. Okay? It is a challenging position. Okay? Whatever it is that you're dealing with. And from what the picture and the message is here, I'm looking at that there's no time to waste. Now that might not be with people, because I know a lot of people stress the people part. People. I used to make that mistake too. When you watch the tarot, people don't listen to the tarot because, you know what, I'm always talking about a person. Some people's always talking about, like, that hoe. That hoe's going to steal your name. Okay, it's not about people all the time. Sometimes it's about businesses. Sometimes it's about people. Sometimes it's about the disaster that just hit your state and the lack of empathy that somebody has when it comes to all of those people. We can't help everybody. Empathy is free. It doesn't cost any money to be empathetic. But the bottom line is, if there's a if there's a national situation, okay, we remember that not all of us are able to contribute to things like that. There are a lot of very crafty people that have plenty of resources that want to contribute to things that are bad advice or going in the wrong direction. So let's clarify a little bit here about the wasting time, because I'm interested in this wasting time thing. That's the one that's standing up, by the way, for me, the wasting of the time. How is it that the collective is wasting time? Do you know how you're wasting time? Okay. Can you even guess what the impact of your situation might be if you're wasting time? You know what you've been sitting, looking at the situation, you've made your list of all this and that, of what you need to do, and you're sitting there, somebody is wasting time. Okay, why are we wasting time and what is it? The puppeteer in reverse. Explanations and apologies. This is Citadel. I get to read the little description. The reverse descriptions are much smaller or shorter. They're shorter. But I need to find it because, you know, I don't have all this stuff memorized. Was the puppeteer. The puppeteer. I love these cards. I seriously like to give complete thumbs up to the person who designed this. Okay. That's a mention for the person who designed this deck of cards, because I absolutely love it. I don't like looking up the definitions. Let's clarify the wasting of time. Okay, we're in reverse. You may have made the first steps toward apologizing, or perhaps you're still too afraid to speak up and admit that you were wrong. Whatever the situation, there is element of resentment that it may not be possible to forgive or forget. Sometimes the best thing is to accept the things that are irredeemable and move on separately. So that is what the wasting of time is referring to in this read. I actually resonate with this. We all have situations where we have to walk away, and many times it's because we're not big enough people to get over our egos and actually have a conversation with the people, and we would rather walk away and lose that loved one and just start over in another direction with somebody completely different. As you have different types of people in the world, and you have different type of people in your life, and you have all got different situations in your routines, your jobs, whether you're going to school, what you have an interest in. But when it comes right down to it, if you'd rather walk away than say you're sorry and pick up the phone and call somebody over a period of time, you're out of time. And this energy here says you're wasting time. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? If you're the one that resonates with this reading, God bless you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. I need all the subscribers I can get. Please, by all means, share this video with as many people as you'd like, because, you know, I'm very small. I'm very, very new. And I do have in my description box not only a PayPal link, which I don't know how to work, but I just added, just like the other day, Cash App, which I think is supposed to be easier for some people these days. If you want to make a contribution or donation, if you like the content, by all means, and have a nice day. Until my next Timeless Energy, have a nice day.